Hello, students. Well, it's after lunch, towards the end of the day. This morning we practiced the variance analysis mix and yield variances on paper. Now it's after lunch. I'm going to ask you to open your laptops now and let's try a question crumbly cake, and let's practice exam technique for the computer-based exams for the constructed response spreadsheet tool. Okay, so you guys have your laptops out. I'm demonstrating in Microsoft Excel. You guys can work in the constructed response workspace directly. I won't be demoing anything in Excel that you cannot do in the constructed response workspace. If the internet is not working, you can also follow along in Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets. Okay, guys, so we've debriefed the question. We've highlighted the important information. Let's get busy now and let's get busy doing this question. So, ladies and gentlemen, do you remember the template from this morning for doing mix and yield variances? You do, that's right, Joey. So what is it? That's right, it's actual quantity, actual price. Let's go 3 spaces. Then we've got the actual quantity, actual mix, standard price. Go three more columns. Then we've got the actual quantity, actual mix, standard mix, that's right, standard mix, standard price. Last thing, everybody, will be the standard quantity, standard price. That's right. Good job, everybody, remembering that pro forma. This is a critical pro forma. Don't go into that exam hall unless you can do this type of equation. All right, everybody. So let's zoom in here and see what we've got. Remember, variance analysis, okay? It's all about how much should the 60 cakes cost versus how much did the 60 cakes cost. And we're trying to answer the question, why is the actual spend on the cakes different than the planned spend? So we can take corrective action. Now, do you remember where our variances will be found? That's right, Jane, you do. Okay, so we'll come down here and the price variance will be here. Okay, alphabetical order. The mix variance will be here. The yield variance will be here. Excellent, Jane. Okay, guys, so that's our template. Make sure you remember that. All of the mix and yield variance questions always fit into this piece of the puzzle, into this puzzle. Okay, can someone tell me what we can do? Yes, that's right, Frank. Easy marks first. Are there any numbers that we can plug? Well, there sure are. We can plug in that actual spend on inputs, and we can take that right from the question. That's 2978. Excellent. Okay, can anyone tell us the next thing that we can do? Oh, Pete, that's right. How about finding the flexed? So, what's the actual quantity, everybody? Let's come over here, guys. We're going to work over here now. Zoom in over here. That's right. That's going to be equal to the actual production, 60,000 cakes, multiplied by what? That's right. How much one cake should cost. In other words, the standard cost per unit. And just like on paper, guys, you need to communicate with the marker using words, using a step-by-step approach. Remember, the own figure rule applies, but that only applies if they can follow what you are doing. Okay? So, communicate with the marker, just like we did on paper this morning. So this working is going to be what? This working is going to be the standard cost per what? Per unit. Okay, we looked at the standard cost card 5 minutes ago when we debriefed the question. Can someone tell me those numbers that we need? That's right, it's going to be what? It's going to be 0.12, okay, plus 0.70 plus 1.7 plus 0.5. Okay, so they made this question very nice for us because it's all of the ingredients. We see that standard mix 0.1. So now we can just multiply all of this, save a little bit of time, times 0.1. Everybody good with that formula? And there we get 302. Okay, so that's going to be equal to 60,000 cakes multiplied by what, everybody? Multiplied by this working. Okay, there we go. Oh, what's that? What's that, Jane? Would you like to see that formula again? No problem. How did we get that standard cost per unit? Let's look at the formula again. Okay, let's toggle over there, just to the formula view. There it is. Let's make it a little wider so you can see. Is that clear, guys? Oh, you want to see it one more time? Okay, there it is. There are our formula. Great, guys. Okay, let's get back to the big picture view here. All right, so we're off to a good start, everybody. We've got the actual spend on materials to make 60 cakes. We've got the expected spend, the flexed budget. Now it's time to get into more of these workings. Okay, so we need to get the actual quantity, actual mix, standard price. Here we're going to let the spreadsheet do its magic and do the math for us. So we're going to really save a lot of time. It's actually going to go quicker than it did this morning when we did this on paper. All right, so what goes into making the cakes? That's right, flour, butter, eggs, sugar, and then we need the total. We need the actual quantity. Can someone tell me what that is? Oh, Lewis, that's right. So it's 5700, 6600, 6600, and a 4578. 8. Everybody, is that clear where that came from? Yes, it is. Okay, so we can come back over here. Let's zoom in a bit more. You can see exactly what we're doing. Everybody in the back, can you see? So we're right here. Okay, now let's get those standard prices, from the cost card. So the flour should cost 0.12. Okay, the butter should cost 0.7. The eggs should cost 1.7. And that sugar should cost 0.5. Can someone tell me the formula that we need now? Yes, we'll come over here to this cell, and that will be equal to actual quantity, actual mix, times the standard price. There we go. We will use the magic of the spreadsheet, to save our time. We can pull this formula here. I'm in Excel. You can do exactly this in the constructed response workspace, as you see, guys, as you guys are working in constructed response. Okay, now that will be equal to what, everybody? The sum of this range. There we go. All right. Now, we're doing very well. Let's step back. Let's take a look at the big picture view here. What's happening? Let's look at our work. All right. What's left, everybody? The last thing is this last working. Actual quantity, standard mix, standard price. Now, let's save a lot of time, and let's just copy-paste this right over here. Control copy. Control view. All right, and we have to just change out one set of cells, and that would be the AA. We're going to switch that out to AS, and that would be what, everybody? What's the actual input? Well, that would be 23,478. So that will be equal to 23,478. Oops, wrong sign. Equals to 23,478, guys, multiplied by 1/4, 1/4. Check that out. So now I just can use my Control C, Control V, copy, paste, paste, paste. Okay, and there we are. We're just about finished. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's not the most elegant spreadsheet. We could potentially clean it up a bit. However, the markers might be able to follow this fine. I think they will actually follow along. Remember, there are no more marks for formatting. We're only going to format for usability. And maybe we could do a little formatting at the end. I'm going to do a little bit right now just to clean this up for a presentation point of view. Remember, there'd be no marks for this, but just for usability. So I might come here. I'll use the Control B. Okay, can make it bold. Maybe I'll unbold that. And I can bold these key variables. That'll be bold. That'll be bold. That'll be bold. and that will be bold. Okay, so we can now use the should cost, did cost tool that we practiced this morning. Looking at the yield variance, should cost 18.1, did cost 17.7. That would be a favorable yield. So let's just do that right away. Okay, Peter, what do you think? Someone tell me what the mix variance is. That's right, Peter. Okay. Should cost, did cost. The did cost is higher, so that would be an adverse variance. Yes, everybody? And the price. Should cost 18.8, did cost 29. So I'm going to say that is an adverse variance. That's right. Okay, now let's just let the spreadsheet do the math. The yield variance will be equal to the standard quantity, standard price. That will be equal to that minus that. Okay. Mix variance, everybody, will be what? Everybody, the 18 minus the 17. And the price variance, what's that going to be, guys? That's right. That will be the actual quantity minus AAS. There we go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're just about done here. In fact, we are done. Okay, we've done the price, the mix, and the yield variance. What does that tell us, everybody? That's right, Frank. Look at that. They used fewer inputs than expected to get their 60,000 cakes. Okay, so the yield variance is favorable. However, they used a greater percentage of the expensive ingredients, giving us the adverse mix. And then the cost of the actual ingredients used was higher than we thought. We went to the store, we bought these ingredients, we spent more than expected, so we have the adverse price variance. Now, okay, we can do a little bit of formatting here. Remember, there are no marks for formatting, just for usability. So if you've got 30 seconds, we can come here. You guys will use that fourth option in your pull-down menu for number format. Okay, we can just do that, round off the zeros. Okay, we can do that. You guys are going into that format menu item and picking the fourth option. All right, and we're just about done here. Okay, and let's bold this just to let the marker let this really stand out for the marker. All right, maybe we can copy paste this over one space. Great, and that's about the limit that you'll get. When you're working in that spreadsheet window in that constructed response workspace, you'll be able to see to about row M, column M. So let's just zoom back out, everybody. Okay, there we go. Now we can just have a nice view of the final work here. Any questions? Would you like to see that formula again? No problem. Which area? How did we get AAS? Well, let's zoom in for a moment, guys. Let's have a look. Okay, let's toggle over to formula view. Okay. Does that make sense, everybody? Let me zoom out a little bit. We're looking at this area right here. Everybody clear on that? Okay, any other questions before we move on? You want to go back to that standard cost? It's right over here, everybody. Right over there. Standard cost per unit. It's right here. You see that? It's the cost, expected cost of making one cake. And we're using the built-in operators to do that nice and quickly. All right, everybody. Good work. I will save that for you. I'll put it in our Google Drive. And let us move on to the next part of the question.